Hey, I'm going to get started this evening by welcoming all of you guys. Welcome to Wat Tung. Nice to see everyone here. Welcome to everyone joining online as well. This is our Sunday evening meditation where I come together with students, guide you in a meditation session, and then afterwards I'll just open up to whatever questions you guys might have related to the teachings of the Buddha or meditation or anything else that you guys would like to talk about. You can ask any and all questions that you like. If you'd like to join for meditation, the way that we start this is with some chanting, which helps ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. This isn't a rite, ritual, ceremony, worship, or prayer, or anything like that. If you would like to chant along, there's chanting sheets over there on the cabinet that you're welcome to help yourself to, and you'll be able to chant along with us. After the chanting is done, I'm going to go into some guidance where I'm going to be essentially instructing you and teaching you how to meditate while we actually meditate. Then there's going to be a period of time of quietness where we're all meditating together. Then we're going to come out of that with some more chanting. And then that's where I'll just open up to whatever questions that you guys might like to ask. So you can take whatever position you like, whether it's seated, lying, standing. There's even a walking meditation that you're welcome to do. We have space in the back. It's really up to you. It's just a time for you guys to have an opportunity to meditate together and ask questions. So feel free to join in with the chanting or the meditation. I'm going to get started, and then I'll come back in with the guidance. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Mahakewa Bhutang Mahakewanhang Apivateyami Savakato Mahakewata Tammo Dhammang namasami Supatipano Mahakewato Savaka Sangho Sanghang namami Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Mahakewa Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang sammuno Sakato rokavitu Anutero purisa Dhamma sati satatawa manusranang Bhutto Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect. Just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath, a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then, whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fix the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind focused on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Mahakeva Bhutang Mahakavanang Apivateyami Savakato Mahakavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Piso Mahakava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang Sammuno Sakato Rokavitu Anutero Purisa Dhamma Sati Satatawa Manusarang Oto Bhagavati. Okay, if you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation. Once again, good evening to all of you guys. Nice to see everyone here. Welcome to everyone who's joining online as well. This is Breathing Mindfulness Meditation. This is a primary form of training in addition to other things that the Buddha used in order to move his mind to enlightenment. What enlightenment is, where the mind's completely peaceful, calm, serene, and content with joy. By the time you get to enlightenment, you won't experience any discontent feelings. You would have eliminated all your anger, sadness, frustration, irritation, annoyance, guilt, shame, fear, stress, anxiety, loneliness, boredom, shyness, resentment, jealousy. You can eliminate all of that through training the mind. You would need much more than just meditation, but meditation is an important part of your practice. Sometimes people think that the Buddha sat under a tree, he meditated, and then instantly got to enlightenment. This isn't actually true. It took him 6 years to actually get to enlightenment. So it's going to take you some time to gradually train your mind to get to this enlightened mental state. And while meditation is an important part of that, meditation alone wouldn't actually get you to enlightenment. So there's various classes, courses, retreats, and things like this where you can learn the path to enlightenment, how to train your mind. Essentially, it's like when we were growing up as a children, we learned how to clean our body, but nobody ever taught us how to clean the mind. And that's what the Buddha is doing, is he's teaching you how to clean up your mind. And as you clean up the mind, this is where you'll start experiencing more and more peace and joy. Because if you walked around with the dirty body for several days, weeks, or months, you would be pretty uncomfortable walking around. And that's the same thing that's happening with the mind. Is all the stress, the anxiety, the frustration, the agitation. This is just because the mind hasn't been trained yet. So if you're interested in that training, that's what we do here, is help students to be able to learn and understand how to train their mind to get to enlightenment. So if you have questions, you're welcome to ask anything that you like. We have microphones there in the white bowl. We have some up here as well. That way the people online will be able to hear you. All you need to do is get a microphone and press the gray button. You'll see the lights come on, and hold this up to your chin, and we'll be able to hear you here at at the temple, and they'll be able to hear you online. And then for those of you guys online, you can put your questions into Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, or you can raise your hand in Zoom and ask any questions that you like. So is there anybody here online that has questions that you'd like to ask? I see. Lyndon always has questions. He was just being polite and seeing if anybody else would like to go first.
Yeah. So my question is how to measure or check how polluted my mind is at which level?
Okay, so the way that you actually determine how you're progressing on the path to enlightenment has nothing to do with your meditation session, because your meditation is actually going to be all over the place, all the way as you progressing towards enlightenment. You're going to see that some days you're going to have really peaceful and calm mind. Other days it's all going to be shaken up. This is normal. This is the impermanent nature of your meditation practice, and all meditation is actually beneficial for you. The way that you can see whether you're making progress on the path to enlightenment is based on what you're experiencing on a day-to-day basis in your relationships and in the quality of your mind. So in your day-to-day life, whether you're going to work or whether you're staying at home or whether you're spending time with friends or family, you need to be observant of your mind and see, are you generally peaceful and joyful? Are your relationships going well? Are you having difficulties figuring out how to, make decisions in your day-to-day life and in your relationships? Because the unenlightened mind will struggle and have difficulties in a relationship. And as you're developing your mind with meditation, but then also with all the other wisdom that the Buddha teaches you, you'll start seeing things clean up for you, that your relationships will start to clear out because you're starting to make wiser and wiser decisions in these relationships. So the meditation alone is like exercising the mind. It's like going to the gym, right? But to determine whether you're actually progressing in the gym, you would like to see in your day-to-day life, is your body feeling good? Do you feel healthy? Are you able to help your friend move that sofa when they ask you to move that sofa, and things like that? So your meditation practice, all meditation is beneficial. If you do meditation, it's like, oh my gosh, my mind is so busy today. That's actually helpful. That's beneficial because you have mindfulness. You have awareness of mind. If you have a meditation and it's your mind's quite peaceful and joyful, okay, great. That's where your mind's at today. It's important not to judge your meditation as good or bad, because that's what your mind's going to want to do. And then if you have a period of time where your meditation is not as peaceful, you'll actually get to the point where you'll kind of be beating yourself up and thinking that something's wrong and somehow there's something bad about your meditation and maybe you should give up doing meditation. But that's exactly the reason why it's important to do meditation, because the mind's not peaceful and it's not joyful. But oftentimes people judge that as a bad meditation and now they choose to stop meditating. So don't judge your meditation as good or bad. Just know that all meditation is beneficial, and look in your day-to-day life about how you interact with people and how you spend time and what's the condition of your mind in your day-to-day life. That's what's going to be an indication for you of how you're progressing on the path to enlightenment. And then, of course, as you learn more, you can see that your mind's moving through the jhanas, those enhanced qualities of mind that you experience, that you learned about in the retreat last week. And then you can also see your mind moving through the 4 stages of enlightenment until the mind is actually enlightened. That's a criteria that helps you to plot your personal growth and development, and that'll help you to see that you're improving too. But early on, you're not going to see any of those things because it takes you time to build up to that. So early on, you just look at your day-to-day life and how you're experiencing interactions with other people. Yep, you're welcome. Questions? Yes.
Yeah. I'm struggling a bit with let it go. And I wonder, it's not like in the physical sense, but more maybe situations, feelings I feel attached to, and I almost feel like I can sense that the pile is building up, but I don't quite manage to, let go any of this. And I don't know, maybe you have some advice.
Sure. I'm not sure if you've learned the Eightfold Path in detail or not. I know that you haven't learned it with me in detail yet. I teach it based on the original words of the Buddha, and that's what you really need to learn it based on, because there's lots of resources out there that will say it's the Eightfold Path or that it's the teachings of the Buddha. But when you look closely at it, it's actually not, even though it's being labeled that way. But if you learn the actual true teachings of the Buddha on the Eightfold Path and you commit this to your memory, you'll be able to train your mind to let go, because it's more than just meditation that you need. You're going to need to practice things like generosity, where you're giving and sharing with the people around you without any expectation of anything in return, such as your time, effort, energy, and your resources. This is also training your mind to be able to let go. You're going to need to practice each section of the Eightfold Path, the wisdom section, the moral conduct, and the mental discipline. And as you're practicing this on a consistent, ongoing basis, your mind's going to need to mature and mature and mature and mature until some of these cravings release, some of these attachments release. You know, we talk about craving, desire, attachment like it's all one thing, and it is, but it's really a spectrum, because you have little light, kind of small cravings, but then you have really strong, heavy cravings. Like if you wanted a chocolate bar and you went into 7-Eleven and they didn't have your chocolate bar, you could probably cut that discontentedness off pretty easily. But if your mom was in a terrible car accident and she's being rushed to the hospital in the back of an ambulance, that's an attachment that's really hard for the mind to have let go of. That's going to take a lot of work, multiple years, to eliminate that specific attachment. So while we say cut it off and let it go, it's really cut it off and 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 cut it off. And you keep cutting it off for many days and weeks and months, and some of these cravings and attachments years, until the mind finally lets it go. But you need to couple it with more than just meditation. You need the breathing mindfulness meditation, yes, but you also need generosity, and you need even the moral conduct, because there's craving embedded in an individual's moral conduct that if you haven't studied the Eightfold Path closely, then you're not practicing that aspect of the path. So your mind's still holding on to having craving in your moral conduct. So you need to clean that up. And the interesting thing connecting it to meditation is that it actually helps your meditation. The more that you're improving your moral conduct, it actually helps you in meditation. And the more that you're actually training your mind in meditation, it helps you to implement the moral conduct. So all of this stuff together will actually help you. I suggest you start with this book. Chapters 4 and 5 is the Eightfold Path. It's really helpful to read the entire book. You've probably heard me share that, you can get this on our website by downloading it. You can take it and go print it. You can get printed versions here by reimbursing us for the cost, or you can order it on Amazon. You can even read it online now. It's online. You can actually read it right there online. But that's the best way to really train your mind to let go, and then understand that there's this spectrum, that there's different levels of craving in the mind, and the really strong ones are going to take a long time for the mind to mature. This is actually the words of the Buddha. He talks about maturing in release, that the mind needs to mature in release. But then these lighter cravings, those are going to be really easy for you. Those lighter attachments will be really easy for your mind to let go of, especially if you're training it through the Eightfold Path. Mm-hmm. Anything else you guys would like to ask? Yes, sir.
Test. Okay. I have a question about what is the view from the Buddhist, from the part of a Buddhist about self-optimization. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more about what you mean by self-optimization.
Yeah, at the moment there is a trend about longevity. And it sounds really interesting if I watch some videos about that, how you can optimize your life, your health, and your body and your mind. So, and it's sounds to be true. And I don't try to fall in a trap or something like that. And I was reflecting myself the last days. Is it good to live maybe 100 to more than 100 years, to have a long life? Maybe we have more time to reflect, to understand more about the life, become more wisdom if we have more years on the planet.
Okay, so that's actually what the entire path to enlightenment is all about, is optimizing the way that this mind functions and getting to a point where you've made so many wise decisions in your life that you're living the ideal life. By the time you get to enlightenment, like I mentioned, you won't experience any discontent feelings. All the anger and sadness and frustration and all that other stuff is completely eliminated from the mind. You've moved to a higher consciousness where you've evolved to a better and better human being. Just like a lizard or a snake can evolve to a better species, human beings can actually evolve as well. Most people don't realize that that's the case. They just kind of resign themselves to think that this anger and frustration that you experience is normal, and that you're just going to be angry for the rest of your life, and it's other people who are causing you to be angry. But what the Buddha helps you to be able to see is that it's your own mind that's causing these feelings, and it shows you a path of how to train your mind and optimize how the mind is actually working. That you can move to this higher consciousness, and now the mind can function where you have focus, concentration, clarity, and deep memory, where all your relationships are harmonious. You don't even experience a bad mood any longer. And you've put together such a wonderful life for yourself that you really enjoy all aspects of your life. Oftentimes when people go on vacation, they really get excited to go on vacation. And then they really enjoy when they're on vacation. And then when it's time to go home, it's like, oh, I have to go back to home. It's like I have to go back to that life that I created. That's what people don't understand. I'm going back to that life that I created, and I don't like that life. But people feel like they're stuck, and they feel like, that this life that's been created, they don't realize it. It's their own decisions that led to that life that they've created. So by the time you get to enlightenment, it's not like that. It's that you enjoy every single aspect of your life, and you just need to learn how to train your mind to be able to do that. And that's what the Buddhist teachings are all about, is helping you to see how to be able to accomplish that. So it's not rules and commandments. It's not rites, rituals, ceremonies, worship, or prayer. It's not belief and all those kinds of things. It's actually when the Buddha got to enlightenment, he said, I discovered a better way of life. Right? He didn't say that I discovered a new religion, I discovered these new ceremonies, these new rituals, because none of those things are actually in his teachings. If you're seeing that kind of stuff associated with his teachings, it's actually not from him. He taught you to do this inner work, this inner growth, this inner development. It's essentially like a self-help program. It's the best self-help program that I've ever seen, because it's been well vetted over 2,500 years to the point where now you can learn it and understand it, and then you see that it actually works, helping you to get to this better way of life.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. Well, all of us know that Buddhism is an Eastern thing. It came from East. So I wonder if any of us Westerners can approach the same level of Buddhist teaching as Eastern people can.
Absolutely. The Buddhist teachings are based on what's called the natural laws of existence. These natural laws affect all of us, whether we're aware of them or not. And it's the same natural laws no matter where you are in the world. And what he's teaching you to do is to cultivate wisdom about these natural laws. That's why his teachings are timeless, and they're not based in culture. It's based on natural laws that affect all of us, just like the natural law of gravity affects all of us. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet, you're going to be experiencing the effects of the natural law of gravity. It's the same thing with the natural laws that the Buddha taught. So when you get back to his original teachings, when he talks about awakening to enlightenment, what he's talking about is cultivating wisdom of these natural laws. And now whether you apply them here, you apply them in some other part of the world, it's all the same. I've traveled all over the world practicing these teachings, whether it's here in Asia, whether it's in the Middle East, Africa, whether it's in North or Central America, any of those places. I've traveled all over the world and practiced the same teachings. You don't have to know a certain culture. It's not based on a certain group of people. It's all based on the natural laws. And his teachings are timeless because these natural laws don't actually change. So once you learn them and you cultivate the mind, you can apply them anywhere. I have students all over the world. I mean, you name it. There's students that study with me all over the world because because I live stream and I'm on the internet and people have access to all these teachings. So they're learning all over the world, and you can apply the same teachings no matter where you're at. And you see that they actually work. And that's the beauty in these teachings, is that you cultivate this wisdom and you see that it actually works for you. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am. So Sunday morning, I do meditation and then I teach a certain topic. What I do is I follow a 7-month program where I use this first book and I go chapter by chapter in each Sunday. Now we just restarted that program, so we're doing kind of an overview and an in-depth study of the Eightfold Path. So that's what the Sunday morning and Sunday evening at 9 p.m. is. We do meditation and then I actually teach a certain topic, where on Sundays at 6:30, I just do meditation with you guys and then just open up to whatever questions you guys have. Just have a free form discussion. And of course, there's questions when I'm teaching at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. too, but it's typically about the topic that I'm teaching, where this is just free form questions about anything you would like to ask questions about. Did I see somebody else? Yep.
Yeah. I got a question about happiness. And because different people have different views on happiness, some may think happiness is about getting as more as things, as more as money as you can. Like when you are possessing more stuff, you are more happier than before. But some people might think happiness is about giving things out, like helping people, contributing to the society. So different people might have different views on happiness. And so I would like to know how you consider happiness, and how could that help us on the enlightenment?
Okay, so what you need to be able to understand is the difference between conditional happiness and unconditional happiness. Because what you're describing there about getting more stuff or giving away stuff and being happy because of these things, this is what's called conditional happiness. And this is why people aren't getting to permanent happiness, because they're experiencing conditional happiness. What conditional happiness is that based on some condition, the mind is then going to experience happiness. If you experience conditioned happiness, which every unenlightened being experiences, it's temporary. That happiness arises, it changes, and it fades away because it's based on some condition, and that condition is not permanent. So for example, if you get happy because it's sunny outside, that means that happiness is temporary, because the sun is not permanent. So therefore, when it rains, you'll be sad or frustrated. Or if you get really happy because you're chasing money and your bank account balance is up here, that means you'll be happy for a period of time, but then that's not permanent. So when your bank account balance goes here, you'll be sad or frustrated. And even when you get this particular happiness based on your bank account, that happiness is conditional. It's going to arise, it's going to change, and it's going to fade away, because eventually this amount of money is not happy for you anymore. You want more, right? So the mind always wants more and more and more. This is caused by what's called craving, desire, attachment. The mind is forming its feelings based on external circumstances. As long as you keep allowing your mind to do this, you're going to keep experiencing conditional happiness, which is temporary. It's unsatisfying. It's displeasing. And that means if you allow your mind to get conditional happiness, your mind's ultimately going to end up in the painful feelings as well, like anger, sadness, frustration, and others. What you would like to get to is unconditional happiness. Unconditional happiness doesn't need any condition met in order for you to experience that happiness. You're inwardly happy, inwardly joyful. That if you're going on vacation and you're happy because you're going on vacation, that's conditional happiness. If you're happy because it's sunny, that's conditional happiness. If you're happy because you're with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, that's conditional happiness. Now, when your boyfriend or girlfriend is gone, you're not happy anymore, right? What you would like to be able to do is be happy no matter what, that there doesn't need to be any condition met, that if it's sunny or it's raining, you can still be happy. If your bank account balance is here or here, you can still be happy. If you're with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you can enjoy that and have a great time. But when they're away, you can also enjoy that too. That's what the mind has the capability to do. It's called unconditional happiness, and people don't even understand necessarily what this is and how to attain it. But it's the teachings of the Buddha that are going to guide you to be able to train your mind to get to the point where you have unconditional happiness. So you need to be able to train your mind to stop forming feelings based on external circumstances. As long as you keep allowing your mind to do that, then it's going to keep doing it. Because that's what the mind does in the unenlightened state, is it forms its feelings based on external circumstances. So the Eightfold Path is what's going to train your mind to get rid of the causes and conditions that are producing conditional happiness, so that you can get to a point where your mind is beyond that and you're experiencing unconditioned happiness. And then this is a mental quality. It's a mental state. It's not a feeling, because feelings arise, they change, and they fade away. Unconditioned happiness doesn't arise, it doesn't change, and it doesn't fade away. You wake up, you're already happy when you woke up in the morning. All day long, you're happy. You go to sleep, you're still happy. Your mind is joyful, cheerful, glad, and uplifted. And this is what the mind's capable of doing, but you need to learn the training about how to be able to get your mind to that point, which involves training it to no longer form feelings on external circumstances.
Does that mean we should get rid of the thought of happiness so that we can get something like unconditional happiness?
You need to understand the difference between conditional happiness and unconditional happiness, and train your mind to understand that conditional happiness is not ideal, but that's what people are taught to do from when you're very little in life. You're taught to chase after conditional happiness, right? Your parents come home from work. They're like, Mommy and Daddy's home. Aren't you so happy? Yay. And now we get so happy because Mommy and Daddy are home. But then when Mommy and Daddy leave, now you're sad, right? Look, Mommy and Daddy brought you a toy. Aren't you so happy with this toy? Yay. Yay, I'm so happy with my toy. But then when it breaks, you're sad, right? We're going to go get ice cream today. Aren't you so happy? We're going to get ice cream. Yay. Okay, well, tomorrow we're not going to get ice cream, and now you're sad, right? So we've been taught from a very young age, the mind has been conditioned to do this. What you would like to be able to do is understand that that's detrimental to your mind, having conditional happiness. Your mind's either happy and excited, or it's over here where it's angry or frustrated or some other discontent feeling. And sure, you have peacefulness here and there in between for a period of time, but it's only a matter of time before your mind goes here, swings up here, or it swings down here. It's only a matter of time. So when you train your mind to get to unconditional happiness, you need to understand that the conditional happiness is just as much a part of the problem as the painful feelings, because it's very intuitive to understand you need to eliminate anger, sadness, frustration, boredom, loneliness, stress, anxiety, guilt, shame, fear. That makes a lot of sense to eliminate that. But when I start explaining to people that they need to eliminate conditional happiness, it's hard for them to understand because they don't realize that there's this other option, which is unconditioned happiness. So yes, you need to get rid of conditional happiness, this temporary happiness, which is ultimately displeasing, in order to be able to get to the permanent happiness, which is fully fulfilling and sustaining, and it's permanent.
Yeah, I got your point on the conditional happiness. It's like the happiness was built on some physical forms of stuff, maybe like toys, money, or your parents. So my further question is, shall we just get rid of our feeling on happiness, and we could being so consistent all the time and forget the relative concept of happy and unhappy, and so that we can achieve a unconditional happiness. Am I right on that?
Not exactly, because you still need to know that your mind is experiencing conditional happiness. In the unenlightened state, you will still experience conditional happiness, and you will still experience conditional painful feelings as well. You need to know that, because that's what your mind's doing, is watching over your mind. There's sometimes what people are doing, it seems like maybe this is what you're trying to do, is try to figure out, well, what's that one thing that I need to do in order to get to this unconditional happiness? Or can you just break it down to me? Give me a 5-minute talk that explains to me how to get to this unconditional happiness. But it's not like that. You actually need much more training. I can't just summarize it in 5 minutes of, if you just do this, you'll get to unconditional happiness. There's multiple things that you need to learn and understand. This book series that I share, there's 13 books. Right? You're going to need to take some time and study and invest in your future, right? There's courses and retreats that I teach that students oftentimes take more than one time. There's personal guidance, right? There's audiobooks. There's lots of content for you to be able to learn and understand. You actually need the ability to be able to see that your mind is experiencing conditional happiness, and that it's experiencing those painful feelings as well, these conditional painful feelings. Because when you see that with your mind, then the Buddha teaches you to apply effort to eliminate that out of the mind. Not suppressing your feelings or repressing them, but he actually teaches you to eliminate them before the mind even experiences the feeling. There's an early warning system that you have. There's bodily sensations that you experience that you may or may not be aware of right now, where there's like tingling in the body, tightening in the chest, tightening in the throat, heat in the face, and pressure in the skull. This is the early warning system alerting you you're about to get angry. You're about to get frustrated, right? It hasn't become a feeling yet. It's just in the body at that point. And then with the pleasant feelings, there's like tingling across the shoulders, up the back of the neck, and over the head. Some people call this warm fuzzies. Right? And people indulge in that. So this is the early warning system alerting you your mind's about to form a feeling. So it's way before that. It's a bodily sensation. So if you can learn how to cut off and let go at the bodily sensation and not allow your mind to experience the feeling over a consistent long-term period, you'll get to a point where your mind doesn't form these feelings. Instead, your mind is just always experiencing the unconditioned happiness, the unconditioned joy. Because sometimes people look at feelings as something that's good. It's like, oh, he just gave such an impassionate speech. You know, he was so upset, and he was so impassioned. And people sometimes look at that as a positive. But in reality, when your mind's all angry and frustrated, it's all shaken up. You can't actually make wise decisions. So by learning the entire path, which I just gave you a little piece of it about how you cut off and let go at the bodily sensations. This is helping you to be able to transform your mind so that it no longer experiences conditional feelings. So when you put together all the pieces of the path and you see that it's working, it's a beautiful thing. Because there are situations where you once used to get angry and frustrated, and you'll be in those same situations and your mind doesn't do that anymore. And it's like, whoa, these teachings are working. And you can see that it's actually working. And by the time you get to enlightenment, where you're experiencing 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, there's no anger, there's no frustration, there's no nothing. Your mind's just completely peaceful and joyful. You'll know that these teachings are for sure working. You'll know it long before that, but by the time you get to enlightenment, you'll be so appreciative that you learned these teachings and actually trained your mind in this way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. I think that might be all of our questions for tonight, huh? Let's see. I don't see any questions online here. Okay. So what I'll do then is just end by thanking all of you guys for joining. Thank you for your interest to learn and understand the teachings of the Buddha. If you guys would like to learn more, there's opportunities for you guys to do that. This evening at 9 p.m., I'm going to be doing meditation, but then I'm going to be teaching a section of the Eightfold Path, which is the moral conduct section. So if you'd like to learn that, I'm going to be starting at 9 o'clock. And then on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to be doing loving kindness meditation, which is a different type of meditation. It's actually to help you eliminate anger, sadness, frustration, meditation and all those other versions of that. Even if you have negative self-talk in your mind where you're degrading and diminishing yourself, this is a great meditation for you. So enjoy the rest of your evening. And if there's anything that you would like to get plugged into, you can see our bulletin board there. You can see our website. You can see our books. You can come talk to me and I'll help you get plugged into the resources that you need. So be well and take care. Have a lovely evening and we'll see you next time. Sawadee krap. Sawadee krap.
Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.